You ever have one of those nights where the world just won't let you breathe? That was me, pushing through the hospital's humming, overlit corridors, trying not to lose my mind during a double shift when Janet, night nurse with a knack for bad timing, caught me. Dr. Williams, room 314, is asking for you again. You know, there's a look nurses get when they're about to drop trouble on your lap. Janet wore that look like a badge. She says she can't sleep. Her back is killing her. Then, quieter, honestly, I think she's just lonely. 2 weeks here, barely one visitor. Some nephew, 5 minutes, max. That twisted something in my chest. I'd noticed Hannah Peters, polite, distant, always up at 3 a.m., like she was waiting on someone who'd never come. All her labs were textbook, but you could see it. The woman looked like she was dying from the inside out. I'll check on her, I said. Even though I hadn't slept in 30 hours, even though my scrubs were a disaster, my student debt was racking up interest by the second, and my apartment was more storage unit than home. But Hannah, she was different. Maybe it was the way she actually asked about my day, not out of politeness, but real curiosity. Made me feel human, and in this line of work, that's rarer than a good coffee after midnight. So I found her, sitting in the dark, hair perfectly styled, posture ramrod straight, like she was bracing for an earthquake no one else could feel. Mrs. Peters, having trouble sleeping? Her face relaxed like I'd tossed her a life raft. Oh, Dr. Williams, I'm sorry to bother you. You're not bothering me, I said, pulling up a chair, watching the way she hunched her shoulders, how her fingers picked at the blanket like they were looking for a memory. It's my back, but really, it's like I'm forgetting how to sleep. Makes any sense? More than she knew. So I asked her, gently, how long have you been sleeping alone? The answer came like a confession, tears and all. 7 years, since her daughter. You could feel the grief, thick as fog. I helped her lie down, adjusted her pillows, got her breathing steady. And as she drifted off, she whispered, how did you know? I told her, sometimes grief isn't just in your head, it lives in your bones. She looked at me sharp, like she knew my secrets, too. Could you stay? She asked. Just till I fall asleep? Maybe it was unprofessional. I stayed anyway. The next morning was chaos. Emergency in the ER, 3 new admits, surgery moved up, coffee so stale it tasted like the hospital floor. I forgot about Hannah, honest mistake. At lunch, I ran by her room, granola bar in one hand, chart in the other, expecting the same distant look. But she was sitting up, color back in her cheeks, smiling like she'd won the lottery. Dr. Williams, I slept 6 hours. First time since, she didn't finish. I didn't push. But when she looked at me and said, you look exhausted. When's the last time someone took care of you? I felt the ground shift under me. Who does take care of me? No parents, no family, friends scattered. Last relationship ended when he decided my ambition was too much to handle. I take care of myself. I lied. She just smiled, sad and wise. That's the loneliest sentence in the English language. Before I could let that land, my pager screamed, emergency surgery. Thank you for seeing me, Hannah called as I ran out. Really seeing me? That question, who takes care of you, stuck to me like a splinter. When I came back to check on her, I heard voices from the hallway. Her nephew Richard, all expensive suit and cold disapproval, telling her she was wasting money, doubting her care, dropping barbs about my age and qualifications. Dr. Williams is an excellent physician, Hannah fired back, her voice suddenly steel. That meant more than I could say. But Richard? He made it clear. He thought I was after something, and he wasn't subtle about it. Later, Hannah looked me dead in the eye and said, you see me as a person. Do you have anyone who sees you like that? I told her about my parents, how stubbornness and loans got me through school, how sometimes it feels like you're fixing problems, not healing people. Is it really different? She asked. You fixed my sleep, my pain, but you made me feel less alone. That's healing. She called me her friend. First time anyone had in years. That word followed me everywhere after. Lunch in the cafeteria a few days later, just the two of us, sun filtering through dirty windows, her hands shaking as she told me about Catherine, her daughter, killed by a drunk driver 7 years ago. Last conversation full of hope, for a struggling student who'd finally learned to read. I reached for her hand, didn't care who saw. She said the worst part wasn't the loss. It was how everyone else just moved on, like grief had an expiration date. Until a doctor cared enough to fix her sleep and asked about her pain, that's when Richard showed up again. This time with his wife, Patricia, cold as ice, sneering at the idea of me being Hannah's friend. She's angling for something. They always are. I tried to leave, but Hannah stood up, voice ringing. Richard, you apologized to Dr. Williams. Now, he didn't, of course, just smirked and dropped a threat. Not everyone has your best interests at heart. Patricia's cold stare followed me out. But Hannah, shaken, just said, he's not my family. You are. Except secrets have a way of crawling out. Next day, Hannah's room was empty, gone, no forwarding address. Richard had handled the paperwork. 3 weeks later, I'm stocking shelves at a 24-hour pharmacy, barely scraping by. My license suspended, reputation trashed, collection agencies calling. Richard had pulled every string he had. Then Hannah showed up, frail but burning with something fierce. I never revoked the will, she told me. She'd sold off her assets, put them into trusts and foundations. Every dollar out of Richard's reach, every program that mattered protected. I want you to run them, she said. You're the only one I trust. I tried to refuse. She wouldn't let me. Richard's counting on you giving up. Don't. The next day, the world learned Hannah Peters was dead. Heart attack, the headlines said. The will reading was national news. Her family hissing and spitting. Media camped outside. Lawyers everywhere. But Hannah had left me a flash drive, her final testimony. She told the world why she chose me. Not for my name, not for my degree, but because I cared. Because I saw her. The videos exposed everything. The bribes, the fake medical records, the threats, Richard's true colors. In the end, FBI agents cuffed him in the middle of that conference room. And I told the world I was giving it all away. Every penny, every asset, straight to the clinics, scholarships, research, hope, not handouts. Hannah's money was never about the cash. It was about changing the world, about making good on the promise that kindness isn't weakness. For once, the right person won. Not because I was clever or ruthless or connected, but because I refused to stop seeing people. Weeks later, I'm back in the hospital, residency restored, starting a free clinic, making rounds, giving people the care they deserve. Sometimes I see Hannah in the reflection of a window or feel her hand on my shoulder when a tired parent thanks me for saving their kid. I get it now. The best gifts are the ones you don't know you need until you receive them. Purpose, justice, the chance to prove that good people still win.so. Tell me, what would you have done? Would you have walked away or fought for the chance to make a difference? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this story hit home, share it with someone who needs to believe good people can still change the world.